Yo guys, what's going on? My name's Chris. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how you can start a consulting business on the side. A little side hustle consulting. The first thing that everybody needs to know before they start a side hustle consulting business is this. You have to have built something to be able to consult on as an expert. You have to have built a business, at least. And the cool thing is, I'm going to teach you six ways to build that side hustle consulting business on today's show. Let's get into it. So the first way to build this side hustle consulting business, consulting on the side, whatever you want to say, I've spoken to many consultants and we all kind of have a similar story of how we fall into consulting, which is this, okay? And this is the first step, right? People are just coming to you with questions and you're fundamentally consulting them because they look to you as the expert in the field already before you're formally doing it for money. In my case, when it came to consulting, many years ago, it started with basically living a healthy lifestyle in the sense that I've always been in good shape, but many years ago, I was in like exquisitely good shape. I was just super lean, and I had a really disciplined approach to the fitness lifestyle, and everyone just came to me to learn how to do it, which ended up turning what I had into something big, but I fell into it. People wanted to learn how to be in really good shape, and I was cool with teaching them, and I actually enjoyed it. And that's how it started, right? That's how it started. People would ask for fitness and life advice, and the life advice started evolving around the decade mark. People would come to me and ask me for advice on life and success. And I naturally fell into consulting on the topic before I ever took any money from anyone as a consultant. And the same thing with the topic of business. People just came to me and asked me questions and wanted my opinion and wanted to be coached. And that was all before 12 years of being in business, before I ever took anybody's money as a consultant, and I fell into it. And by year 12, I started formally charging for consulting. So the point is, you have to have built something and people need to look at you to be the expert in that field. So the second piece, expert in the field. Let's talk about that, okay? What makes an expert? I think it's subjective, right? It's subjective. What's an expert? Let's just use the opposite ends of the spectrum here. If someone's struggling to get by in their business, trying to make ends meet, maybe, potentially thinking about filing bankruptcy, I don't necessarily think they're a bad person. They just wouldn't be considered an expert in the field, in my opinion. So the opposite end of the spectrum, if someone's doing really well, maybe they have a wait list, they have so many clients they need to hire more people on their team, their numbers are rapidly expanding. Their impact is rapidly expanding. They're helping people. They're doing well. They're being referred to, and things are just blowing up or have been blowing up for many years. I would consider that person an expert. And being an expert in the field is a vital step to starting a consulting business on the side, because you're going to want to consult people that look at you as an expert. So number 3, how do you get started, right? All right, well, check it out. This is how I'd recommend doing it. Is exactly what I did. Do it for free. People are coming to you and asking you questions in the first and foremost, hey, how do I get in shape? Or what do you think about this business plan? Or this, that, everything else, and you're helping people for free already, beautiful. Then you can start thinking about charging money. But let's say that people aren't coming to you for free, or people aren't coming to you and you're giving them services for free. Let's say that you want to start consulting people and you're not doing it. So you reach out to your friends or people that are in your industry or something along those lines, and you offer your help for free. Start there. Help them for free. Actually help them. Don't just give them little tidbits. Actually help them. And that is how you can get started asking people to help them for free, or in some cases, just helping them for free, and don't ask for any money. But if you want to build this business on the side, you're going to need testimonials, you're going to need reviews, and you're going to get referrals. So starting it for free on the side, and if you're going to ask for anything, some testimonials, video, written, some reviews, maybe even ask for referrals if you're ready, is a really good way to start. Number 4, let your audience speak for you, right? So let's say you're asking for these reviews, these testimonials and referrals. You're letting your work that you put into this person for free, right? Or business for free, and their feedback drive customers to you. You're letting your audience speak for you to build your company. For instance, using me as an example, in 2020, it was the first time I formally charged any money for consulting of any sort. And for many, many years prior to that, including 2 years of podcasting, everybody came to me for consulting on life and business. All my friends, my following, my audience, my, some of my family. Long story short, what I did is exactly what I just taught you, where I asked for testimonials and referrals and reviews. But what it comes down to is I asked my audience to speak for me, and by 2020, when I decided I was going to start my consulting for monetary value, for money, I had a warm audience ready to buy because my audience was speaking for me and experiencing the results. Okay, number 5, and it's kind of bridge from what I just told you. I started, right? By 2020, I started consulting for money, and I decided, and this is number 5, I decided on my model. My number 5 is picking your model as a consultant on the side. I decided I was going to start with group coaching. Right? So let's back up. There's many models for consulting. There's group coaching. There's one-on-one. There's virtual. There's in-person. There's e-courses, passive coaching. And you got to decide on your model to start. I started with group coaching, and in 2020, I launched my first group program, which was called Dominate Your Day. And I talked to my friends that I'd been working with for free. I talked to my audiences on socials, and I said, hey, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. If you want to get involved, this is what you need to do. And boom, I think it was 30 grand in the first month or something like that. Everyone was ready because I was taking care of them. And then years later, I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm going to start life coaching and mentoring and business consulting. Do you want to be a part of it? And not everybody, but a lot of people jumped in on it. But you have to decide your model. I started with group coaching. And that's how Warrior Consulting got started. Number 6. Okay. Number 6. You got to figure out your pricing, your services, and your pricing accordingly. Or, said differently, price your services accordingly. And this is what it comes down to. You don't want to ever be the cheapest, guys. Okay? You get what you pay for. Everybody knows that. But I would start at market. whatever your market is, do 15 minutes into a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Figure out what your competition is doing. Shoot, book a call with me. I'll tell you how to do it. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Yeah, you can find that link in the show notes. And figure out what the market is. And wherever the market is the market, meaning people will pay for it. And that's where I'd recommend you start when it comes to price your services accordingly. Once you gain some traction, right, and some momentum, you can bump those prices up. For instance, in 2020, my prices went up, I want to say 2 times because of the traction and momentum, because I was worth more than market is what it came down to. The product and the service that I was giving, was worth more than the market price for average, if you will. And I've only gone up from there. And so will you guys. And that's the point. You could do that too. So let's bring it all together, okay? Let's bring it all together. Number one, you kind of just got to fall into it mostly, right? You just kind of fall into consulting usually, but fundamentally, you should have built a business or something before you start consulting others on it. All right. Being an expert in the field, vitally important. Start for free. Let your audience speak for you. Figure out your model. Get your pricing down. And guys, that's really it. Of course, you're going to need like ancillary things like websites and emails and social medias, but to start the meat and potatoes of the business, this is what you need to start. And of course, there's more to this. And if you want to know more, I'm happy to explain it to you. Guys, that's what I got for you today. That's the meat and potatoes of starting and opening a consulting business on the side. That side hustle, baby. That's how I got started. That's how a lot of us get started. And, guys, listen, if you want to talk about it, if you want to learn more, all right, get on a call with me. The link is in the show description, and you just book a call. All you need to bring is your time and an open mind, nothing more. Call is on me. If you learned something today, guys, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and if you have a question, publicly, drop a comment. I'll catch you next time.